Strength in Shadows, the brand new Sable Ward perk that allows you to heal yourself at 70% the normal healing speed when you're in the basement. It also allows you to see the killer's aura for 10 seconds once you finish a heal, which is just an odd combination, kinda like pizza with pineapple. When separate, each item is delicious, but together, you've created a monstrosity only a psychopath could enjoy. Aura reading aside, Strength in Shadows has sneaky value that can make it one of the most dominant healing perks in the game, but it also has some major drawbacks that could keep it out of the meta. Strength in Shadows is faster than self-care, but slower than a medkit, but you also have to be in the basement. You'll spend more time in the basement with this perk than my cousin Chris did when Mario Kart came out on Nintendo 64. Basement aside, this is a strong healing perk, and I did the math to prove you shouldn't sleep on a perk like Strength in Shadows. Despite what you may think, this perk is incredibly strong when you're in a Swift based on a little strategy you can do in every match. And don't forget about its Pineapplian ability to see the killer's aura. For those who aren't so educated, Pineapplian defined as to add something unnecessary. But enough this nerd talk, we need to put Strength in Shadows through our trademark 1 to 20 star rating system to find out, is Strength in Shadows a good perk? Strength in Shadows has some weird pros and some weird cons. Pro, you're able to heal yourself at any time. Con, you have to find where the basement is in every match. Pro, it's not that hard to find the basement. Con, but it's annoying to always have to run to it. Pro, the healing is faster than self-care. Con, by the time you run over to the basement and heal, it's probably not any faster. Pro, it's nice in solo queue. Con, so are medkits. When you compare all the pros and all the cons, you're left with more questions than answers. Like most of y'all, I just wanted to find out if this is a good perk, so I did some advanced testing. I took the time it takes to run the basement and divided it by the time it takes to heal, multiply that by the number of times I use this perk, and subtract the amount of times I could have been healed by teammates. That gave me the number 3.33, repeating of course, so I dug one level deeper in why I was repeatedly getting injured. Turns out it was just a skill issue. Problem solved. The best pairing I found for Strength in Shadows was Botany Knowledge, which allowed me to heal myself even faster. Weirdly enough, you may want to run Sprint Burst or Background Player to gain some distance in key situations to get to the basement. And finally, you may want to play as someone other than Sable Ward, because in multiple situations, I had the killer come look for me in the basement because that's where they figured I would be. The tough thing about Strength in Shadows is it's very situation dependent. Is it a big map or a small map? Did the basement spawn in a central location or is it in a corner? Are there generators around basement or is it a dead zone? Are you playing solo queue or are you in a Swift? There's a lot of RNG that goes into having a good experience with this perk, but I kind of found a way around that. I think Strength in Shadows is better than Self-Care by a good margin. I think this perk could be one of the better healing perks in the game, but only if you use it correctly. And here's what I mean by correctly. Oddly enough, you get more value from this perk in a Swift than you do in solo queue. That's because you have the ability to split your team up in a way that benefits you the most. The reality of Strength in Shadows is that it's only strong when you're near the basement. So ideally, your team lets you handle all the generators around basement while they focus elsewhere. And if you get injured, they continue to work on their generators on the other side of the map to keep the pressure on. The only issue is that you have to escape the killer. So my build recommendation would be Sprint Burst, Windows of Opportunity, Strength in Shadows, and either Iron Will, Lightweight, or Botany Knowledge in the final slot. If you are running Botany Knowledge though, you should encourage your teammates to come to your side of the map to be healed, which kind of disrupts some of the gen pressure, but it's still a viable option. But build aside, I have to rank this perk as a whole. I think this is a nice perk, and I really started to get comfortable with the playstyle while I was using it. There's definitely some strategy that needs to be implemented to get full value from this perk, but that's kind of the case for every perk in this game. It's going to get a 13 out of 20 stars from me, which is pretty solid, unlike the rating I gave Babysitter. That was an absolute dumpster fire, and you can watch that video right here.